So I have to say, I turned on the news today. I'm pretty happy seeing things going forward, and I'm not sure if I posted something yesterday. Because one of the things that I really wanted to communicate was that some people that are here illegally are not bad people. In fact, we want them and we need them. And some people say, well, you're subsidizing these people. I realize that people from other countries are here legally and their lifestyle is really being subsidized quite a bit. And I think that people that kind of set that up, that's a sock, it's not underwear. Um, People that set that up did it for their own political gain. But look at things if you're Christian, look at things from a Christian perspective. Think about this. Some of these people would never see a Christian church in their community, in their locality, and missionaries might not be welcomed, but they're coming here. They're coming here. Oh, well, it's not fair. They're getting, good positions and they're living in nice neighborhoods, but you can't escape the Christianity, and nobody forces you to go to church here in America, do they? And thank God that they don't. But, you live in a country and you hear things like, oh, Christians are terrible, Christians are bad, and it's like, blah, 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 America's such a terrible place. And then you come here and you really see, well, it's not quite what they portrayed it to be. So I guess I just have a soft spot for immigrants because my parents, they had a little, like a carryout or a little grocery store. It's called Baltic Foods in Cleveland. They operated that, owned and operated it for a little while. I'm like, wow, that's great, I think my maiden name actually means shopkeeper, so it's just weird, but regardless of, your ideology or your supposed worldview, there's always hope that it would, even though you came from a culture that was very, very confident in itself. Like my grandparents, for example, were Transylvanian Saxons, so that's like a subgroup of German Americans. I don't know why I'm laughing, but because I really don't know much about it. It sounds a little silly. And I shouldn't laugh. It isn't silly. Here I am laughing. That's terrible. I guess there's just too much English in me, too much British in me. I'm just like, Transylvanian Saxons, that sounds really off the wall. That was on my dad's side of the family, so. Of course it isn't off the wall. It's okay. And the nice thing is, the Germans had the polka. Lawrence Welk, wasn't he Swedish or something? He had the polka. And Hispanics have the polka. For years, I don't know, maybe even close to a decade, we've had local radio stations broadcasting Hispanic music. It's not what you expect. It's polka. I'm like, this is funny. I always thought this is kind of quirky and this is Clevelandish and this is, my dad used to say DP, which would be a displaced person. The DPs, he would make fun of, the ethnic Europeans who would come over and they would retain their headscarves and their traditions and all that. And now I can't believe that the radio is broadcasting polka. I thought polka was just too nerdy, but my goodness. No, people, well, it's good. Anyway, that's enough about polka. Uh-oh. I know clutter. There's just so much clutter. I wish I could afford a housemaid. And if I'm not in housemaid mode, then you're going to see the clutter, and I'm sorry about that. My husband and I were just talking the other day. He was talking, I'd like to have a camper, but we're not good at cleaning things up. I think I would be good at cleaning up a camper because it's a small interior, and I think I would be very good at it because it's just a small space, and it's delineated and everything and rectangular, and I wouldn't. Sometimes a house is just like, my goodness gracious. You wonder why these English people have to like give tours of their manors, because it's like it's so much to pay for the upkeep of a house and the maintenance and everything like that. Like, you can't be a philosophical person, a poet, and a painter and a housekeeper at the same time. They talk about America's broken immigration system. When I lived in student housing as a student at The Ohio State University, which I guess it's since been demolished, this particular place, there were people coming from different parts of the world, South Korea and Latin America and India. And this one lady from Latin America said, we have help. When you give birth, you have help. Here in America, you just can't, like, people just don't have maids. They just don't. Like, if you read Jane Eyre, even Jane's family wasn't rich, but they had a maid. They had help. We don't have help here. It's so weird. Our society is just, we wish it could be a little bit better. If you're rich, you can afford maids and landscapers and everything like that. In America, not only does a woman not get any help keeping her house, she